Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show a step-by-step demo for Databricks Community Edition. First, the login page for Databricks Community Edition is like that. Put your username and password and then click sign in. After you are in the Databricks Community Edition interface, this is basically your home page. And also on the left there is a menu bar, and I'm gonna show you the function of those menus later. So in the Databricks Community Edition cloud environment, you have the flexibility to create your own cluster, and all your notebook will be run on top of one of your clusters you can create. So first, let's create our cluster. And you can create the cluster by click the cluster icon here, and then it is asking what is the cluster name. We can actually put in any name you want. For example, we can just simply type in my cluster 1, and then within the Databricks runtime versions, you actually have all different kind of clusters with different versions of Spark and Scala, as well as GPU, as you can see. And now let's use the most recent, the beta 3.0 beta Scala 2.11 version. That's the most recent one. And then for this particular one, as you can see, it has a free 6 GB of memory, and that's it's more or less a free complimentary for the community edition. And when you actually pay for the updated version, you have the flexibility to configure your cluster's capability, such as how many nodes, and then what will be the memory and hard disk, what will be the CPU, etc. So now let's create the cluster. The cluster is now creating, and then it may take a little while to finalize the cluster creation stage. And we can see once it is finished, it's going to show the status to be running. Okay, now our cluster is already created. And in real applications, and your cluster, small or large, can be created instantaneously for you to use. Okay, so now this cluster, it is running, and it has 6 GB of memory, and then the software on top of that is 3.0 beta with Scala 2.11. And that's our working environment that I'm going to show how we can actually create a notebook and run on top of that. Okay, we can click the Databricks icon on the left. It is actually always bringing you to the home page. And then let's create a new notebook. And we can put in a name like test R notebook. And then we can actually choose what kind of language we want for that notebook. It supports Python, Scala, SQL, and R. And in this example, I'm going to show how to create a R notebook. So you're going to leave this language to be R. And cluster, actually, we only have one running cluster, and then it's become the default cluster that our notebook will be attached on. Then click Create. Okay, the R cluster, the test R notebook now is created, and it is actually have the cluster attached to be the myclust01 machine attached to this notebook. Now let's do some simple computation. So I create a vector, and then I want to find out the mean of this vector. Okay, in a notebook fashion, and we can run a cell by the shift enter. So we click the shift and enter together. So it's actually running and give us the result. So basically now you have a full version of R. You can install any libraries, same as what you usually do in a single machine, and you can run your code here. And more importantly, this notebook actually can push any of the data um, to the Spark environment and utilize the parallel computing environment for big data problem. And this is going to be automatically saved. And once you are done with your notebook, you can actually publish or report or export. You can export all the result into a HTML file, or you can publish as a notebook such that somebody else can use it by a unique link. Okay, that is all for how to create a cluster and create a R notebook such that you can run R command and R code and R scripts in this notebook. Thank you.